Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 5th, 2023. Hope this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling good. Let's see, work went pretty well. Yeah, it's weird. I oscillate in feelings between, and don't get me wrong, this isn't me getting into a thing where I go, oh, I like working. No, definitely not that. But in some ways, there is a certain kind of nicety to like getting back to the routine. You know what I mean? And I think I usually feel this way the most when I have like holiday weekends where I don't do much. So like I'm just like bored, I'm loafing around. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm glad I got a lot of sleep over the past like 3 days. But it's nice to kind of get back to like order, if you will, some regulation, even though it means I have to like, go back to my shitty little job. So, I'm taking it in stride. I'm trying to find the good in it. But yeah, no, things have been good. Things have been solid. Hopefully you've had a good post Labor day. And hopefully, you're just ready to chill and listen to some news. Or if you're listening to me while you work, hell yeah, that's my goal. Like, I love being with people in the best of times and the worst of times. That's like the beauty of podcasting. Let's see here. Sadly, there's no food to really report. I have my usual beef and rice bowl. It was yummy. It was good. So yeah, we can just skip all that. Let's see here. I'm going to do my little startup and get into some news talk. My favorite thing to talk. Actually, no. Let's be real. Let me cut the shit. It's not my favorite thing to talk about. I do love gabbing about some news, but it's not my end all be all. There's other nerdier things I'd love to talk about. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's talk about some news. Let's get into it. From NPR, Spain's women's soccer coach is fired as fallout grows from unwanted World Cup kiss. Now, this is why I'm glad I made a correction and I said, oh, hey, the Rubiales situation, that's not the coach. That's the federation president or whatever the fuck. Completely different role. Because their coach, the Spain's coach, actually had his own series of controversy that he had to go through. And in a way, he's catching a little bit of blowback. He's a little bit of collateral damage. But at the same time, he also is facing his own reckoning that I wanted to kind of get into and talk about. So let's see. Spain's Soccer Federation has dismissed its women's national team coach, Jorge Vilda, and named its new coach, Montse Tomé, the first woman to hold the role in Spain. Now, I believe that she was a former assistant coach, and now has come back as a head coach, head-on coach. Let's see. The changes come amid the continuing fallout over the actions of Federation President Luis Rubiales. I'm never going to pronounce his name right. At the Women's World Cup final, which included forcibly kissing star forward Jenny Hermoso and making lewd crotch-grabbing gestures. He made one gesture, except it was next to the Spanish Queen and I believe her niece. So that's awkward. Yeah, I mean, I get it. A win's a win, and you want to celebrate, but you don't have to do that. You do that in your man cave. Like, when your team scores a goal, you're like, yeah, suck it. Like, you can go full DX there. You can't do that on the pitch, with your team. It's very inappropriate. It's very odd. It's very strange. It's not okay. It's very uncouth. And, yeah, we've talked about that kiss before, how he's like, oh, I kiss my daughters like that. Like, stop, dude. This fucking gross. So yeah, I mean, this about face from the actual federation is a good about face. It seemed like the stories I was hearing up until this point has been like the federation kind of like silently trying to suppress, silence, like even change like Jenny Hermoso's statement, like going to her and being like, hey, you really gotta tell them that you were okay with this. And she's like, no, I was not fucking okay with this. And like, they're like, oh shit, fuck. So they've been kind of scrambling, chasing their tail here. We've even talked about some of the people applauding. Well, of course, Vilda was one of the people who was applauding Rubiales at his conference when he said, "Oh, I'm actually not leaving. I'm actually not fucking leaving. I'm not resigning." And yeah, now granted, with Vilda and Rubiales, they did have like a relationship in a way that like Rubiales was very supportive of him, and Rubiales was like, "Look, Vilda is a part of the vision. Like, we need him. The team needs him. This organization needs him to really get us where we want to go." And the next thing you know, yeah, they wind up in this World Cup position, and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, see, look, I told you we need you. Like, you're great. But with Vilda, some of the reckoning I wanted to get to is he was looked at as like literally like a dictator. And that's never something you want to hear when you're a coach. Like, obviously, you do need to get the job done. You do need to maintain order. That's important. But, like, when you are literally making this work environment, yes, we are all here trying to get a win. We're all trying to fucking make it. We're trying to be the best we can be. But when you're making this work environment a very toxic, not, like, you know, healthy place, that's a problem. And literally, there were members of the team that made it to the World Cup and they're like, we're not playing though. Like, fuck that. We're not playing under Vilda. So in a way, this Rubiales mess kind of like overshadowed this, because I remember hearing about it like in a blurb and a bit on BBC, you know, doing my little podcast listening. But that was really about it. It really, like, people were upset. It definitely made waves. But, like, the Federation was more or less able to kind of, like, brush it off, endure it. And it seems like now heads are kind of rolling. And Rubiales is still under the suspension for the 90 days. I believe his mother is still on hunger strike. She went to the hospital. Oh, poor thing. Oh. But, yeah, no, the suspension's still happening. No one's changed any statements. Everything's still as it is. I do hope they work their way up to Rubiales, though. I mean, I hope they're not backing down here. It seems like they're really sending a message with this firing and also hiring of Tomei as head coach. So, I mean, that's good. If you had asked me, do you think Vilda will stay? I would have thought he would have still been in. But good that they made that decision, because I definitely think it's the right one. And hopefully, like I said, that also Rubiales gets fired too. Like, axe this motherfucker next, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and move on to another story. This one's from The Guardian. TikTok killer Mahek Bukhari to appeal against her conviction. Former influencer was sentenced to 31 years and 8 months in jail for her role in deaths of 2 men. Now, Newsies, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I've covered this story. I didn't just think about it in a dream that I did. But yeah, this was about Mahek and Ansreen Bukhari. And I guess I definitely have updates. But they were found guilty of killing friends Mohammed Hashim Izjazuddin and Sajib Hussein, with whom Ansreen Bukhari had been having an affair. Now, I believe when I initially covered this, I got it mixed up, and I thought the influencer, Mahek, was having the affair. So, it turns out I believe the mother was, and essentially, you know, this affair is happening, but then, the 2 men were essentially, like, like, they were blackmailing the Bukharis over it. And in this situation, they were trying to, like, keep the situation, like, under wraps. Like, they didn't want to handle that scandal. You know, I get it. That there's a lot of guilt there. There's a lot of shit. Like, you don't want this talked about. Like, especially if your daughter is an influencer and you're the influencer, like, yeah, this is my mom. You're going to ruin our fucking lives with this shit. And they're like, okay, well, give us money. And they said, we're not going to give them money, but okay, let's set up this meet. So they meet up at this, like, parking lot, Tesco car parking lot. And this is in the early hours in the morning. Essentially, they're going to give money to Hussein. And what turns out happening is they're like, no, give us the phone. Because essentially, they had all these pictures and texts, I believe, that verified the affair. So they're like, oh, if we just can just get this phone off of them, we'll be in the clear. They'll have no evidence. We can deny it, whatever. So that was what it was the intention. And this spirals into a car chase that I believe takes place in Leicester. I can't pronounce it. I'm not from there. And it ends in both men dying, as I believe they ram the car in like this high speed chase, and it leads into like an accident that kills the men. So I mean, clearly shit got out of hand. But the Bukharis, as well as I believe 7 other defendants, or 7 in total, I'm not sure. It is understood a number of the 7 defendants convicted in the case may be planning to appeal. So it looks like everyone's like, okay, we're going to definitely appeal. Makes sense. That's usually very typical in these situations. I don't know how the appeals are going to go. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, definitely a very interesting end to the story. I'm not sure who the driver was. I didn't get that level of research deep into it, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But yeah, I am curious why Mahek got the bigger sentence, and that's my assumption, is that she was driving. But yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see here. Yeah, Mahek got 31 years, and then Ansin got 26 years and 9 months. So yeah, and I'm not gonna go. I don't even have the names of the other defendants, at least not all of them. But yeah, like some are connected either like because like hey, it was their car, or like they were also involved as well, and like affiliation into this whole like situation. But yeah, it's just a fucking mess. And I mean, yeah, it kind of like you can almost want to slide into like, yeah, TikTok drama, huh? But I mean, like, I don't know, this is like hitting like soap opera levels. I don't know, man, this is crazy. So I want to talk about that. I know this is a little bit older, it's kind of past a week or almost a week, but yeah, wanted to talk about that, give an update, spill it. All right, let's go ahead and move along. I got this from news.com.au, but I'm pretty sure you can find the story like on other news publications. I know you can like watch the video on CNN. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. Pilot dies in gender reveal stunt. Yet again, another gender reveal gone wrong. I think the last one we covered, it started a wildfire. So this one, there is a dead body. This is a horrifying moment. A gender reveal party in Mexico ends in tragedy when a stunt plane crashes, killing the pilot. Footage shows an expecting couple smiling and holding hands in front of a sign that reads, "Oh baby." Excuse me. The video, filmed by a party guest, begins as a light aircraft drafted in to perform the incredible reveal comes into view. Also, let's see, they do list the plane as a Piper PA 25235 Pawnee aircraft. But I really don't like the narrative angle that they go through here. I mean, I get it, whatever, but they're like, oh man, like the couple doesn't even react to the blah, 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 blah. And I mean, I get it. But like, I don't know. I don't like, leave the semantics and the bias to the news commentators, to the podcasters like myself. You know what I mean? I much prefer when a news publication tries to be as sterile as they can be, because like, I don't know, that's the whole point, right? You're at least supposed to present yourself as like a non-biased thing or whatever. I don't know. Call me old-fashioned, but I do think it's a little cringe, a little weird. But yeah, in this situation, this plane is supposed to be flying in, and it does like the smoke thing and the color of the baby. In this situation, it was pink, so it's a girl. But in the process of doing so, like after it's making the pull out, like the wings like fold in on itself, and like the plane like just spirals down and crashes like right next to the whole procession. And you just see this crumpled heap. I believe actually someone gets injured in the procession, like in the event. Like the brother-in-law, something like that. But yeah, the pilot died shortly after being taken to the hospital. So yeah, I mean, it's a whole fucking scene. It's a whole fucking affair. And obviously it's a shame when there's a loss of life. And, you know, it just harkens me back to the same thing I said the last botched gender reveal thing we've talked about. You know, I just like a traditional, old-fashioned, you pop some streamers, there's some colored confetti, and you call it a day. Let's eat some cake. You don't have to blow up a building. You don't have to, like, fucking shoot a plane into the sky or whatever. I mean, by all means, I can't yuck anyone's yum here. If you got the money, we live in a capitalist society, so go fucking nuts. Like, I don't know. If you want a fucking Oppenheimer, only the state can stop you. Like, it's not for me to say, I guess. I don't know. But, damn, it definitely, like, in my last moments, as I'm piloting this plane, and I'm like, okay, we did it. Well, let's fucking just land this. Oh, shit. Like, I'm thinking, like, is this really it? Is this really my last moment? A gender reveal? Like, goddamn. That would just suck. That would suck so hard. Oh, man. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, I actually, I was scrolling through on my Facebook, and I saw a friend. They did a gender reveal, and like I said, it was just some streamers. Like that, there you go, some confetti. Hell yeah, it's a boy. Congratulations. That's all you need. That gets the job done, okay? Save yourself a hell of a lot of money, I'll tell you what. All right, let's go ahead and move along. From the New York Post, another favorite. I love rags news publications. Okay, Massachusetts teen. Oh my God, see, it's already fucking buffering on me. Can't even get there. Massachusetts teen dies after taking part in social media's spicy one-chip challenge. I actually got the story from a friend, which, I love. Whether the news is good, bad, happy, or sad, I always just love riffing about the news. And, they had, we were talking about it, like, hey, man, this just seemed like something that was up your alley. And you know what? I'm like, you bet your ass it is. But a Massachusetts 14-year-old died Friday, hours after he participated in the so-called one-chip challenge, a viral social media trend that the teen's family believes contributed to his sudden death, according to reports. Harris Wallabla, a sophomore at Doherty Memorial High School in Worcester, consumed an exceedingly spicy Pocky chip at school and quickly developed a stomachache, his mother, Lois, told NBC 10 Boston. Now, Harris was picked up, and he, went home. He said he was feeling better, but then was later found passed out when he intended to leave for basketball tryouts. The teen was then rushed to a nearby hospital and pronounced dead. Now, the cause of death has not been confirmed, and an autopsy is, still pending, at least the results. But it's believed, at least by the mother, that he died from complications due to the spicy snack. Now, I don't know if you remember the big trend. This was, big last year, was the Pocky one-chip challenge. And I remember I had a lot of friends asking me, they're like, Isaiah, yo, you're a spicy little slut. We know you love spicy food. When are you going to do this? And I was like, hell no. No, I put my shit away, y'all. I really did. I know I referenced noodles the other day, the bulldog noodles. Those are the noodles that turn me off of spicy foods, because I just realized after I couldn't finish that whole pack of noodles that this was not for me anymore. This is a young man's game, and I am not meant to be turning my insides out over spicy food. It's just not worth it, okay? I had to bow out. And this story and the next story I'm about to talk about are definitely big indicators, or big, I'm looking up yo, I was so right. Thank you. Thank you for walking with me. Cause yeah, these spicy foods are no joke. And I think it's one of those things where I don't know if it's machismo or bravado, or just you just think it's a lust or zest for life. Where you're just look, man, I just want to enjoy shit. I just want to just take it all in. I don't even care if it's gonna make my booty bleed. But that's the thing. I think you just think yeah, I'm just gonna feel a little gross. I might throw up, and that's it. But truly, these things can have very dire consequences, if you're not careful, or just sometimes if you're just unlucky. So for me, I just said, hey, I'm gonna eat my spicy food for enjoyment, not for sport. I definitely realized in my youth, that I was eating things for sport. I was sweating in public, just doing the worst, doing the most, because I just really wanted to just feel the burn. It was just fun, and I liked it. But now I'm no, I don't want to feel miserable for the rest of my night. And now I'm thinking yeah, I don't want to fucking die. Let's see here. I also got to add, the Pocky brand says on the site that its chip should only be eaten by adults. It also advises people to seek assistance if they experience trouble breathing, fainting, or prolonged nausea. Let's see. This year's chip contains Carolina Reaper pepper and then a Naga Viper pepper. What the hell is a Naga Viper pepper? I swear they're just making this shit up. This shit is lore. I don't understand anymore. Like, and I just mean like pepper. Big Pepper is just making peppers up at this point. Because I swear, every time they keep introducing a new pepper that I ain't heard about, and it's like X amount of Scoville's hotter than the other one. It like makes the last one look like bullshit. And I'm just like, where are you finding these peppers? Like, are you making them in a lab? Like, this is insane. The Naga Viper pepper. Hell no. I will not be trying that. It sounds interesting though. It sounds very fascinating. All right. But no, seriously. Condolences to the family. It is super sad. You know, whenever there's a loss of life. Period. I know I try to like add some levity to these stories. I feel like all I can do. But like for real, it's unfortunate. It's sad as hell, and it could have easily been someone like me, like someone who just likes to eat just for like the challenge. And I was doing it because like it would impress me and my friends. Like just like when you ate a bunch of warheads, like it was just like yeah, woo. Like nowadays there's an allure for a camera. I feel like, or just social media points, and like I feel like that's added incentive or pressure, what have you, to want to do these things. So yeah, okay, we have one more story to cover. Sadly, it is not a good news story. It is sad. I mean, maybe potentially a little less sadder. Technically, no one is dead, so that's good. Little silver linings playbook there. But you know me, take my last little break, and then we'll get into it. Ooh. If I say I'm taking in heavy metals, you'll know what I mean, okay? The listeners know. The real ones know. Okay. From Daily Mail. Red snot chili pepper. Woman in Brazil fell into coma after sniffing super hot chili caused deadly allergic reaction. Also, fuck Daily Mail for that. What the fuck, man? You can't do this. This is why, like, yo, people don't respect y'all. You can't say red snot chili pepper. Yes, is it a bar? Yes, it's a banger. But you can't do this. Someone went into a coma. Okay. A woman in Brazil went into a coma for several days after smelling a hot chili pepper. Thais Medeiros, 25 years old, was cooking with her boyfriend and family when she rubbed the pepper on her nose and sniffed it. Suddenly, her throat became itchy. In the hospital, doctors discovered she had cerebral edema, also known as brain swelling. They believed she's likely allergic to the pepper. So, that's just crazy. Granted, I gotta tell you, I'm a pepper eater. I've never been like, oh yeah, let me sniff it. But at the same time, like, when you're a connoisseur of a thing, it just becomes that thing. Like, I've seen, water sommeliers, they will smell the water. And don't get me wrong, yes, that is an important thing. But have you ever actually seen someone smell water? You know, like, isn't that, like, when you actually process that thought that someone is, like, smelling the water like it's a fine wine, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you want to knee-jerk ask that question. But this is no different than someone who's a big pepper enthusiast. And I guess she's just really big into peppers. She wanted to take it in. And let me be real. Have I sniffed my red pepper jar before? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. You know when Donato's gives you the red pepper flakes? That's something that was a smell I kind of relished. There was something nice about the dried red peppers when you ripped it open. It just kind of gave like this aroma. I liked it. I always kind of vibed with that. So I get it. But it's crazy that she took a big whiff of a pepper while she's just having a good old time with her family, and then next thing you know, she's out. She's out just for potentially life. Now, granted, it did look like she pulled through, but she's slowly recovering, It's not clear if she will have lasting neurological issues from the edema. Cause shit, whenever there's a brain thing, like you just never know. You never know how it's gonna happen, how things are gonna go. But yeah, that's it. That's all we really have here. I have a burp incoming, maybe. Nope, a little bit more. Okay. Um, Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for living with me and all the burps and all the coughs and all of the equipment issues, whatever it is. Okay, thank you for just so much for that. If you'd like to support further, though, I have to shill. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Your financial support would mean a lot. It goes a long way. You do also become a newsie. I W thee a newsie when you do that, and I shout you out at the top of the month. I say your name on the podcast. I shout out a project thing you're doing. But let's see, free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com, and then you can reach the podcast either like any social portal. You name it, I'm probably there. So yeah, I mean, that's it. That's the podcast. That's the episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.